about the Messi thing?
Anything else on the Messi front, Chris, before we move on?
No, I'm done. I'm
falling out. I told you, I never want to bring this guy's name up again.
I don't know, man. This Messi thing is just a freaking mess. What a disaster.
I don't want to hear this name ever again until it's official. But they got me back.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 79 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, is Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
It's everybody's got to be pumped for this Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming. It's
yes,
coming.
bring out the pink paint.
Wild.
Bring out the pink paint.
Yes, pink, all the way.
It would be cool if we could figure out how to actually bring pink paint into the stadium and then just have some fun with it. But I'm sure that's frowned upon. All right, so we got a big time show for you guys today. We got a special guest that a lot of people know him as an Argentina, Messi, KC fan, all this other stuff, and we're gonna bring him on. And after we are done with him, because he was so gracious to give us a little bit of his time because he's a busy man, we are going to be joined by an Orlando City podcast, which should be fun. Mickey Mouse SC, as a lot of people in the chat are calling him. And that should be very fun. We'll see how that goes. But before we get to that, we do have, like I said, a special guest. And just in case anybody is not familiar with our special guest, I figured I would show them this.
And free kick, Messi. Messi.
Goal! 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 Messi! Messi League Soccer Goal! ¡Cántalo! ¡Argentina campeón! ¡Argentina campeón! Shut the fuck up! Goal!
I'm about to be like this all year. For the next 2.5 years, I'm flying to Miami.
He's flying to Miami, Chris. I would love that energy at the stadium. I would love that energy at the stadium. We need that. And without much further ado, we would like to bring to you Mr. Kevincho. Is that how did I pronounce that correctly?
You got it, baby. What's up, boys? Hey, you should have warned me that you're gonna play that. All right, I have my headphones on full blast, dude. My ears are bleeding.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Look, I'm sure there's a lot of people in the chat right now that they just recently started watching to Miami. They just started watching us recently, the last month or so, and we're welcoming all of that. We love that energy. We love the love, and man, it was awesome seeing other people enjoying watching Inter Miami. I understand why it's starting, but regardless, you're still watching it, and we appreciate all that.
No, yeah, I mean, I know I'm not like there's a ton of people like me out there, and especially I was watching. I've been watching a lot of Inter content, I will be honest, and I see it. I definitely see it out there. I know it's like a weird thing. I can't even imagine if it was sporting, but like having a superstar come, you have all these attention, all these fans, and you want like purists, you want like people who are fans of the club, and you're excited that you probably have this guy here and he's bringing all this attention, but it's like a weird middle ground. Like, please support the team, not just the guy type of vibe. I don't know how you're doing it, but it's interesting.
That's definitely the vibe, and I know Chris has been the one on here kind of preaching it the most, and look, I'm okay. A couple things though. I hope that you make it down here for a game.
Oh yeah.
If you do and you decide to wear an Argentina jersey, go ahead, just don't wear the purple one.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Got it.
But we have a shop. It's called batterfans.com, and I'm going to hook you up with some pink apparel.
Hell yes.
So that when you show up, you're rocking the pink.
I'm ready. Okay? Let's go.
We don't discriminate it against the blue, but
right,
you know.
Right. No,
we want you rocking the pink, you know.
No, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I want to get a kit. And I was like, I'll get like the black one. Like, if I'm getting a kit, I gotta get the pink.
Get the pink, man. You gotta get the pink, man. Like
the
pink jersey is like the new Yankee hat. Like everybody's just really rocking it just to rock it.
Bro, and I saw Adidas came out with that little goat with the little glasses, like little Messi logo.
Oh, yeah, that one was cool. That was
clean,
really cool.
Clean. Yeah, sweet. Right. Thanks, guys.
So
I'll tell you what I think before we move on to the next thing. I think new fans to this team, whether it's for Messi or for the badge, I think new fans to MLS just in general, I mean, obviously it's great that Messi came to Inter Miami, but if he went anywhere around the country, I think just that the simple fact that you're going to have someone of that sort of skill and that sort of quality come into the league to make the league better and more competitive. I mean, I'm all for it. Whether you're here for Messi or not, you're here. And that's kind of what we need for this league. No?
Yeah, totally agree. I think Sporting had that little back and forth with Ronaldo, which would have been an insane thing. And even then, it would have been kind of the same thing. Instead of Messi fans, obviously Ronaldo fans, but it would be that weird mix of like, bro, we are getting attention like never. We're getting hella money, hella followers, all this stuff. It's just like, let's just see how things go in the long run, which so far so good. Like you guys looking kind of cute recently, so we'll just see. Let's see what happens.
And we're gonna get into the cuteness in a second. But before we move on, I did need to just solidify. I know that you are a Sporting KC fan, right? You kind of go ahead and you live stream the KC games. But are we making you an honorary Inter Miami fan?
Look, listen, I think let's pull the announcement right here. There's already a lot of drama, a lot of transfers, a lot of rumors going around, I think, look, why can't we have two clubs? I don't know. Come on. I got a team in the East, a team in the West.
Well, I think you're right. You have an East Conference team and a Western Conference team. I'm all for it.
It's just whatever copium I need to say to be okay and feel better about it. Yeah.
I actually agree with that. I mean, I love supporting LAFC. So I mean,
you're such a front runner, dude. You're such a front runner.
You know what? Hey,
LAFC.
Listen, it's that thing. 2 years ago, I said, hey, if I'm gonna pick a LA team, I'll pick them.
Yeah. Well, why do you have to pick an LA team? Why couldn't you pick Real Salt Lake or something?
I mean, what am I gonna do? Real Salt Lake? Like,
didn't they have a Cuban player?
Yes, they do have a Cuban player. That's correct.
There you go. I mean,
I don't know if he's still playing, but yeah, he's there.
All right. So, on Wednesday, Messi has his first rivalry game, right? Now, I'm sure that you've heard of the rivalry. What does KC? Does KC have a rivalry with anybody?
Yeah, basically our big rival is Real Salt Lake. We played them. We played them in 2013. We had a final. We beat them, and then since then, it's just been. Even the final was nuts, but like a lot of fights, a lot of drama. It's kind of slowed down a bit since both clubs have been super, mid.
Yeah.
But that's technically. I mean, now it's. I guess it's St. Louis, but if it's just like because they're close and there's no actual hate, I don't know. I don't feel it yet. Maybe next year I'll go, okay, yeah, they are a new rival, but we'll see. Not like Orlando. I don't feel like it's an Orlando-Miami thing. That's a different vibe.
Well, you know what? And that's what I was going to ask you. But before I do, real quick, Richard Greenberg kicks in right here. He's a Toronto FC fan. He lives in Toronto, but he has a place in Boca Raton, so he supports both teams. And Richard Greenberg, our friend from the North, we love you for that, sir. Because he's been around before Messi, so love to Richard Greenberg. So when you look, because right from the outside looking in, do you look at Inter Miami Orlando as a rivalry? Because I've heard even Miami fans saying, like, we're kind of trying to force it. Maybe we are. I don't know. I feel like geographically, usually how rivalries are usually created. And then after that, new rivalries are created, like throughout playoff matchups and finals, like you said.
Yeah.
But geographically, usually how it starts, right? Those are usually the basic rivalries.
Yeah.
Do you look at this as a rivalry?
I kind of go off of like even other sports. Like Miami's like the team, or Miami's the city, to be honest, not the flex, of like champions. Think of Miami Heat. I mean, Miami Heat is great. And look at Orlando Magic. It's like, bro, that's not even the same level, even when they had their Shaq and Penny, type of thing. And I think that bleeds over in all sports and all vibes. And same thing, like I had friends in Orlando, like I know some people in Orlando who just hate Miami because you think of Florida, I'm thinking Miami, maybe Disney World, which is probably not a good flex to think about Orlando just because of Disney World, but
they got Universal.
They got Universal too. Look at them. They're really good. But with Miami, it's iconic. It's why people go to Florida. If you want to have a good time, you go to Miami, baby. I think that's like deep rooted. And I'm sure there's a mix of like people going, okay, but I don't really hate Orlando. I think they hate them now. I mean, especially after the Mural situation, like they're asking for it now,
What? Okay. So what did you hear about the Mural situation?
All I know is that it looked beautiful one day, and the next day it had a bunch of purple on it. All right, and not a very pretty outline. They look obviously they dumped some paint. I don't. To me, like the first thing I
Literally
thought,
heaved it against
yeah,
the
heaved
wall.
it, just boom, gone. To me, I was like, okay, is this real or is this like I'm not gonna try to start any rumors. So I was like, is it a Miami fan trying to start some type of rivalry? But I don't know. All I know is it got fixed at the end of the day, and now everyone
Yeah.
on social media are like, all right, bro, we'll see you Wednesday. Let's go. Like that that just started something that really I don't even think it needed to happen. I think everyone was already
Yes.
hyped for the game, you know?
There are people
Well-
saying that there's a conspiracy out there that it wasn't an Orlando fan though.
Right.
I mean,
That's-
it's pure WWE antics, right?
Yeah.
Like this is picturing Razor Ramon just coming down and splashing the paint on the
Yes.
wall, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't think if it is an Orlando fan, it's kind of cheesy. It's like, dude, it's a mural. Like you're not gonna. I mean, you're not gonna piss that many people. There's like a ton of murals now in Miami, from what I've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
So if it is an Orlando fan, it's like great. We'll cover it up. We'll play Wednesday. We win. Move on. I mean you. Move on. Boom, bang, bong. But if it was a way to start the rivalry, I also respect it. I don't know. We'll just see. I'm so excited for Wednesday. You know, me.
Well, and Danny
As are
Broward
we.
Heron just mentions in the chat, Orlando fans have been saying it was Atlanta fan trying to start something. I mean, there's that little hypothetical as well of a lot of
Right.
people claiming that it
Look,
could have been an
look.
Atlanta fan. I mean, it's not.
Look, I heard from and I mean they said it on their podcast, La Ventanita. It's Vice City. Two members
Right.
have a podcast, and they were talking about it on their podcast, and they said that whoever did it left a receipt of where they bought the paint. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they did that. He didn't get it, I wanted to reach out to him, and I forgot. I should have reached out to him to ask him. Did they buy it in Orlando? Did they buy it in Miami? Where did they buy it? But they left a receipt apparently. So I don't know what that means. I don't know
Now
why
I'm
they
even
would do
more
that.
suspicious.
Yeah, I don't even know why they would do that. So,
Huh.
but regardless, it ended up getting the mural a lot more attention. It was all
Yeah.
over the place, and it kind of worked in the favor of Vice City and the Messi mural and all that other stuff. So, but I mean, it's hard to get hyped up for Wednesday anymore for a few reasons. One, rivalry, and two, it's another home game. And winner you go home, and those are the best situations. Like winner go home. That's like Game 7, right? They say the most beautiful words in sports is Game 7 because it's winner go home. But in this scenario, every game from here on out is winner go home.
Right. And it's going to be a weird mix to see. I don't know how, like, or Miami's still, it's obvious they're still figuring things out. Like, even from that first Messi game, so then the next game it looks solid, but now everyone's like, was Orlando just that bad and Miami was just okay? And now we're at this game where, all right, win or go home against your rival at home. Like, they need to show out. And I know we got some reinforcements. I saw the pictures today. All right, very excited with that for that as well.
Jordi
But
Alba. Yeah.
yes, exactly. So I don't know. It's just a perfect setup. Like, it's what you dream about, you know?
Well,
Jordi Alba did. Oh, go ahead.
And let me mention, so Mohammed is here. He's here saying that he doesn't know too much about MLS. He's just a Messi fan from Indonesia. Welcome. And who's the best club in MLS right now? I believe it to be St. Louis.
It's Cincinnati.
Is it Cincinnati? Yeah, I think Cincinnati.
I believe it's Cincinnati.
I
Yeah,
know
they got-
one of the two.
Yeah,
I
they have
think St.
51
Louis.
points.
Yeah,
God damn.
It's Cincinnati, and it's Cincinnati by far.
Yes.
So
God damn.
Well, one thing I'll tell you right now, and Steve Munoz, come on, we know the deal, baby. Alba's FIFA card, I think it's at 85. All right, guys, we got some pretty good FIFA cards on our squad now. All right,
you gotta understand, Kevincho. This is how we scout our players here on this show.
Just look at FIFA card, bro. Don't
That's
even.
it.
I don't
That's
even want to look at Sporting's FIFA card.
So
I want to
Jordy-
mention about the receipt real quick, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they bought that in Orlando because then they would have just put the receipt in one of the glove compartments, right?
Yeah,
Like,
traveling.
they
all the
had
way.
to.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
but
they're
it was
leaving
done
it
on
out there,
purpose.
it's
Yeah, they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
They left the receipt on purpose.
well. If they bought it at somewhere in Miami, I'm definitely paying some Cuban guy to give me access to
Figure
the
it out.
cameras and figure out who it was that made the purchase. I mean, that's
Well-
just what's going down.
Well,
here.
that's yeah. Look, if they really left the receipt, I think that might have been silly. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Jordi Alba finally started training today. And I know a lot of people are saying that there's no chance we see him on Wednesday. I think we might see him. Might only be like 15 minutes, but I think we see Jordi. I mean, he wasn't just training today for the first time in a month. He was training with Barcelona last week. He was training with other players and stuff. Like he isn't maybe not top shape, but he's not out of shape. So I do think that there's a chance we see him on Wednesday. Diego Gomez, I believe, is going to be ready to go also. We might see him sub in also late. And like you said, 4 new pieces with 2 more on the way. And it's going to take some time to kind of get acclimated and build that chemistry. And it's win or go home now. So you don't have too much or too large of an error, margin for error. But I will tell you, although I dislike Orlando isn't a bum squad.
Right.
They have a decent defense. And let me tell you, Atlanta has the second worst defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Cruz Azul, 3 games into their season, had given up 6 goals and had only scored once.
Yep.
So we looked good for 2 games, but I think this is the first real challenge that Inter Miami and Messi in the Messi era is going to have. So it's going to be an interesting game.
It's going to be crazy to see because you guys saw the space Atlanta was giving. I mean, like, I don't know if I remember, like, that looked like everyone was saying, it's like a training session. What the? Why?
It's the party of the Red Sea.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I don't know how many meters of space that dude was having. So I don't think we're going to see that with Orlando. And the real thing is, if Orlando bites first and then tries to hold possession or be defensive, it's going to be really crazy to see the back and forth of Busquets feeding, Messi maybe feeding his. I mean, you guys have that. God damn, what is that? Taylor, whatever the frick his name
Robert
is?
Taylor.
My God, that dude was. He was scoring better goals than Messi. The guy was hitting bangers. What the hell? Like, who is this guy?
That's Neymar Light.
Neymar Light.
That's Neymar Light.
Bro,
Neymar Light.
Where does he come from? Like Sweden, Switzerland? Where the hell he comes
Finland.
from? Finland, dude. Like, bro, he's balling. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys have options, but it's the defense that I'm pretty sure everyone's worried about.
Well, and I went back and I watched your entire stream of the first game against Atlanta.
Yeah.
And when you first start off and you see that starting 11, you're like, oof. What
bro,
is this?
I'm used to bad starting 11s. That shit was nuts.
But okay, yeah, no, and I get it because you're not familiar with names. But let me tell you, we do have some depth because the thing is, a lot of those names are unknown. That's because we have a lot of academy players getting opportunities, and luckily, our academy players have been performing pretty well. Like on Wednesday, you're gonna see Noah Allen. He's gonna lose his starting job eventually to Jordi Alba, but Noah Allen, baller. Benja Kramaki, he's probably gonna lose his starting spot. 18 years old. Another baller. Ian Frey, defenses. He tore his ACL that game.
Yeah.
You saw Messi holding up his jersey at the end, the post game, but also was a baller. So the academy is doing well also. So Inter Miami is set for the future, not just because with Messi here, we're probably going to start getting bigger names more consistently, but our academy is also doing a very good job of developing these young kids. So Inter Miami set up pretty nicely. So I'm glad that you're jumping on the wagon right now, Kevincho, because you're set up nicely for the next 10 to 20 years.
Little 10 years, I'm flexing. I got all my players from South America coming in at 18 years old. Like, okay,
that's it.
That's such a drastic change from Sporting because like my whole dream was to have one damn Argentinian on my team. You guys go to South America, you pick 4 at a time and then bring them over here. Dog, like no problem. So every week I hear, oh, this kid from Racing is coming. This kid from Colón is coming. You know, it's like, what the? All right, fine, whatever.
Yeah, man, that's how we started. For those of you that don't know, our first year of existence, we brought in Pellegrini, our first DP ever. We have Julian Carranza, brought him in. First major name, Higuain.
Yeah.
Let's bring on his brother. Like so, like it's yes.
Damn.
Well, I'll tell you, Ben Krem, if he ever gets floated around in the MLS, I can see him
Argentinian
going
also
KC. And Ben Krem's like 19 years old with the body of a freaking monster. So like that guy would be amazing.
Let me write some emails. Let me see if the front office is doing anything. Like maybe poke a little stick and see.
All right. So I think one of the main questions over the last week is Messi. Once we found out he was starting, a lot of question was how long is he going to play? The man tried to play a full 90, I think.
Yeah.
But after he made that run for that 55th minute goal, I think he was gassed. For the last 20 minutes, he was gassed. When they had 2 corner kicks, one almost right after the other, for the second one, he sent Robert Taylor out there. And when he did that, I was like, okay, he's not going to finish the game. And he asked to be taken out. Me personally, I've never seen it. You've probably watched Messi a lot more than I have.
Never.
I don't think you've ever seen it. So, but I give him his due because he busted his ass. He played his ass off, and I respect that. So he's going to start again on Wednesday. chances that he makes it a full 90 this time.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, because when he was subbed out, I was in shock. I know he's had like 2.5 weeks off or whatever it is, so it's not that shocking. But Messi's the kind of guy who's like a 10-year-old that's like, I don't want to come off. I'm staying on the field. Like, and
Right.
like coaches, when you remember when PSG, when
When they took
Pochettino subbed them off, it was like
Yeah.
Argentina was about to start a war against France and about to murder Pochettino for that. We were like, what are you taking him off for, you idiot? You know, like one of the things that we were like celebrating him getting fired was because of that. It's like, bro, you don't take off Messi for no reason. But this situation, totally different. It looked like Messi, he was coming off smiling, chilling. I don't know, saying hi to people on the sideline. I don't even know what he was doing. It was such a different vibe from those PSG days where if he did come off, he looked pissed. He would verbally say, I'm fine, and literally shrug and walk on the bed. Totally different. I think he plays the whole 90 minutes. If it happens again, second game in a row where he gets subbed off or something, that's going to be shocking. You know?
The humidity here is
The
pretty
humidity
bad.
sucks. I understand that. I don't know.
Yeah, but Kevincho, let me tell you, I didn't consider what you just said, right? I thought the same thing. The humidity, the weather, it's getting acclimated to the Miami sort of like humidity. But I didn't consider what you just said, that he got off and he was super cheery. I mean, he looked exhausted from playing soccer, you know, but like he wasn't like drained. He was having fun, talking to other people on the side.
No, he was drained.
Well, I
He
mean,
was drained.
yeah, I mean, he was drained. Yeah,
It
because
didn't
he
look
just
like he was
finished playing
mentally
80 plus minutes of soccer,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
he didn't look like he was like dying. So like, I think
I think
probably
the
just
fact that it was
called
a
himself
4-0
off.
cushion helped also.
Yeah.
Correct. And I think that he just called himself off at the right time, said, hey, I think right now is a good time. If we get scored on 2 more goals, we're still chilling. Like,
Yeah,
it's no big deal.
Kevincho,
agree.
would you have left the stadium after the 80th minute when he got subbed off?
I'm a little confused by this because, like, all my River friends and even a really popular TikToker, I guess, was kind of making fun of Inter only because we make fun of Boca because they were losing a big game. They lost 4-0. All the players were coming off the field, or fans were coming out of the stadium, and everyone was like, "Oh, typical Boca!" Like they don't know how to. And then I saw Inter do it, but in my opinion, okay, I don't know the whole situation, right? I'm a new Inter fan, but
I'll break it down for you.
okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Hot as balls, game's already over. People have to
Yes.
try. I don't know what the travel's like out there. I feel like
If you live in because look, it's a temporary stadium in North Broward.
Yeah.
I have to travel an hour to the game. Chris has to travel an hour and like 20 minutes to the game. So
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
people live far from the stadium.
I'm saying I've been to sporting games where it's like, I don't know, 75th, 80th minute, and maybe we're winning 3-0. Maybe people will chill and hang out, but also we're not like that far away from we're not like in another
Exactly.
city. Like this is
Yeah.
we're like whatever. It's not a big drive, but I never thought like, oh my god, what fake fans? How dare you leave? You're only here to see Alan Pulido. Like you don't care. Nah, dude. Like if
Well,
I
I
was there,
agree.
I would probably leave. Like I'd probably be like, all right, we
Well,
got it in the bag.
I didn't leave because I refused to leave. Even when we're getting blown out, I refused to leave. But I don't hate on people that left early for, like you
Right.
said, a few reasons. The game was over. It was 4-0.
Yeah.
It was a Tuesday or Wednesday? It was like a Tuesday.
True.
So a lot of people have to work the next day. It's a long commute. And let me tell you something. You might not know a lot about our parking situation,
Mhm.
but it's a disaster. So to
Okay.
get out of there,
It's a complete mess. It's a complete
so
mess.
to get out of there, it's a disaster. So a lot of people are trying to beat that crazy hour-long wait to get out of there.
Yeah.
So again, I wouldn't do it, but I wasn't knocking them or calling them like fake fans, plastic fans, whatever. I honestly believe that if Messi isn't on Inter Miami, that still happens. If anything, people waited longer to leave because of Messi, because he had a brace, and it's like maybe he gets a hat trick.
Right.
Let's wait. And then once he got off, it's like, all right, nothing else to see here. This game's over. Got to work tomorrow. So I thought it was way overblown. I didn't think it was a good look.
Sure.
I mean, obviously. But,
Well, you know,
but no, I think it was overblown.
The biggest problem is that aesthetically, you're literally seeing zombie hordes of people just walk right out the stadium.
was
Like
bad.
it wasn't
For
just
sure.
a couple sprinkled here and there. It was like huge groups where you're seeing like 50% of the people leaving the stadium. That's where it looked kind of ugly.
No,
Yeah, I think when people were leaving and it was becoming a big thing, I just honestly like I would have maybe felt more of like a embarrassment if like maybe the stadium was super empty or something like the whole game. But like it looked packed. There was a bunch of people, and like you said, it was a weekday. That's a whole other reason. I
Yes.
don't even if I wasn't streaming some games, I remember thinking like, bro, it's Tuesday. I'm not gonna go to Children's Mercy Park on 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. Like
Well,
right now, when people are going to the stadium as we speak, bro, good luck. I'm not going. No, hell no, I'm not going there.
Look at the comment down below. James Regis says, I have nightmares of being stuck in the yellow lot. Literally, James, I left the yellow lot literally 2 minutes after the first game, and I was stuck on Commercial Boulevard, which is the street right above the yellow lot. I was stuck there in a jam-packed traffic for 45 minutes.
No.
And that's aside from the hour that it took me to go home.
Yeah, forget
So
that.
it's rough. So again, I wouldn't do it. I would encourage people to stay, but I'm not calling people names for leaving early
Right.
because I kind of get it. And also, it's a Miami thing.
Miami
This is true.
Tings.
Miami is known for leaving things a little early. This is true. This is why I think it looks worse than anything.
I've
It's a
seen
bad
some
rep
Heat
that we have.
games. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
people leave. Yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
All right.
Everybody's well, I was gonna say something very inappropriate, so let's keep going.
All right, so I haven't really seen too many people bring this up. Maybe one. Actually, I haven't heard anybody, but there might be people talking about this, and maybe people can think I'm crazy for even saying it. But is there a chance that Messi could win MVP? Is there a scenario in which right? Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's likely. But is there a possible scenario where that could happen? If they go undefeated the last 12 games of the season and they up in the like the 6th seed or something or 5th seed.
Yeah.
And he ends up with like, I don't know, 14 goals, 6-7 assists. Is there a chance from going dead last to 6th in the East that they're like, you know what, let's give him the MVP? Is that a possibility, do you think?
If it goes down exactly how you said it, I think so. Only for 2 reasons. One, crazy turnaround. What is the odds of you guys making playoffs? Like a stupid number.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. No, we're making the playoffs.
I believe you're making the playoffs now. I mean, as those other couple games have changed my mind because I'm like, dog, you guys are not making the playoffs. Okay?
I was saying it before those games.
Well,
I'll break down the math for you if you want.
Okay. I mean, it's not a lot. You guys are at 18 points. Playoff is 30. Okay, is DC United? DC is sitting at 30 points.
And we got 2 games in hand. And we got 2 games in hand.
It's not that big. Not that big of a. I just didn't think things would connect this quickly. I was like, maybe they'll have like a really late push, but it won't be enough. But I don't know. Like, I don't know how you guys' opinions are. Like, obviously, go full force that you can with League's Cup. That would be super epic to win that. But
yeah,
if you guys have time to build up the team, build up the squad, if you guys have like an earlier-ish exit, that whole second half of this season could be nuts. The thing is that I'm like, I don't know if that'll ever happen. Is like, I mean, if we look at goal score, they're gonna give it to like a goal scorer, right?
Yeah,
they're gonna give
the Golden Boot winner, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
They're gonna give it to like Hanny or whoever. But hey, it's so weird ass. We're getting players getting picked off to Saudi Arabia today. All right. Yeah. I don't know who's gonna be here after League's Cup.
I feel for them. Wise men, we feel for you. Man. Wise Men podcast. Yeah. That was rough today.
And look, Sporty's the same thing. Alan might be gone after today. But, I have no idea. This could be it, So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be insane. It'll be very, very hard for him to get in MVP. But if we're just put that aside, and if I'm going to bet if Inter goes to playoffs, it's going to be crazy. But I would bet Inter goes to playoffs and Sporting doesn't. Like, even though we're technically closer. But yeah, I'm just for being for real.
Well, look, and I'm just gonna I need to address Steve Munoz, who always hates on me. I don't know what did I do to Steve? I'm not delusional. Let me break it down once again, just real quick. We have 2 points in hand on the 9th seed. It's not the top 7; it's the top 9 that make it now.
Yeah,
we have 12 games left. 7 of the 12 are against teams that we need to leapfrog in order to make the 9th seed. So it's not top competition. And if you beat those teams, it's like a 6-point swing. I'm sorry. Going 8-4 in the last 12 games with Messi and company isn't necessarily something that is like impossible. Right. Is it going to happen? I'm not saying 100%, but I do think that it can happen.
It's the leapfrogging that makes me nervous. It's like other teams have to stay kind of not so great, and hopefully they don't have like some weird turnaround where they are fighting. But everyone's going to want to try to get that 9 spot, so they're going to be fine. It's just like, let's see how good. Plus, the East is kind of stacked. Like, you guys got some pretty. I mean, if I look at the West and the East, the West kind of is ass compared to the East.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. St. Louis is leading
Well,
it right now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think that Steve is out of line, Danny. I mean, you're not delusional. I think that he's like part of the minority now, right? Like I
Yeah.
think that we have a better chance than what he believes. Like we're playing a couple garbage teams at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like you said, we can leapfrog people easily. I don't see it as, and Lucas says the same thing, Danny. It's not impossible. And
Yeah.
according to Danny Mathwiz, it is not impossible. He's crunched all the numbers for you.
It isn't impossible. It isn't impossible. I'm telling you, like, I'm okay with people saying it might not happen, but to tell me that it's lost season, come on, man. We still got hope. Did you know who had Messi hitting the game winner with no time left?
Man.
Nobody.
Man, oh, you guys got the Open Cup too? Like y'all are, god damn, dude. Like
we only have to play Cincy, which is one of the best teams in the league right now. But
hey, that Cincy team almost lost to Sporting. All right, so I don't know. Not everyone's looking too pretty right now. You know what I'm saying?
I know that we're running short on time with you, so we just a couple more questions before we let you go. And again, we appreciate your time.
Sure.
All right. Are you planning to come into an Inter Miami game this season? I know KC comes down.
Yeah,
I probably won't play that game.
I know. That's like, God, Messi. We're done with Argentina, right? You good? Like we want.
I thought he retired.
You're done, baby. I want him so badly. I thought I wanted that game to be the
that's
end.
it.
But it never ends that way. Just like with Diego, like, bro, just should have just stopped playing. Like, don't play anymore, please. And he said it like, I want to play as the champion and interact with fans. I get it, but I want to go down to Miami. It'd be so freaking funny if it was a Sporting game. Are you kidding? I would be the only idiot wearing this kit, screaming for Messi and crying for Messi to score. I don't even know the memes that will come out of that, but if he's not
9th.
there, it's still like I just also want to experience the hype, the atmosphere, because Messi might not be there, obviously. But you guys got Busquets, Jordi Alba, some young Argentinians that are coming, other guys that are coming. Like, I just want to see what it's like. Plus, I want to see your stadium before it's not your stadium anymore. I want to at least be like, yeah, I've been to that high school stand. It was pretty bad back in the day. I want those vibes. But yeah, I want to. That September one is like on my calendar. It's just like
September 9th,
for AFA to say something,
Yeah, they because Argentina plays on the 8th and Miami plays on the 9th.
9th, yeah. It's like, please don't go. Just please. Yeah. But the World Cup qualify. If it was friendlies, I don't know if he would go. It would just be too complicated. But their actual qualifiers, I don't know, dude. It's not looking good.
I had two quick questions for you, and then we'll let you go.
You got to leave me space for my questions here, Danny.
Oh, you're right. My fault.
Yeah,
real quick. Good. This not Inter Miami based, but you're a Sporting KC fan. I have a theory. Have you ever watched Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
My theory is that they do a spin-off where he's back in America. They got the Apple TV deal already, right? It's an Apple TV show,
bro.
That he comes back and he takes over Sporting KC since he's from KC. Tell me that doesn't sound perfect,
bro. Retweet, quote tweet this. Do you understand how easy it would be? Nobody's in our training facility. You could send all of Hollywood out there. We have like high-end facilities. The U.S. men's national team is there. Bro, come to Apple TV. It is so easy. And the hype
Apple TV.
Sporting.
If somebody sees this from Apple TV,
bro,
hey, I want some of this.
The money. Yeah, for real. And if you need me as like kit man, I'll be in. I won't not one line. I'll just give them the little boots. Like, there you go. Here's your boots. Here's your kits. Man, yeah, that's a genius idea. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen. And and then the last one before I pass it on to Chris is predictions for this season. So I can tell that you think the MLS Cup is a long shot, which it probably is. But Open Cup, Leagues Cup, still a possibility. What are you thinking as far as what you think is gonna happen, and what a successful season for Messi would be?
I think for sure. I think Leagues Cup will vibe. I think even Inter fans are just kind of like, we'll just see how this is gonna go, because like you guys know,
they're all repping for next year.
Yeah, you guys are building a lot right now. It's gonna be a mess. It would be sick, but it'd be crazy. The Open Cup is already the set thing. You're just 2 wins away from it. That's it. You won. So since he's not an impossible team to beat, You have some time to build up for that and prepare. I think you guys legitimately have a shot winning that. That would be amazing. And also, it's like an
Yeah.
old school cup. I don't know. Going off of the vibes, I don't know if we're gonna have U.S. Open Cup for very long with MLS. Just getting the vibes of like the with Don not being very impressed with how Open Cup is going and all that. It might be like one of the last times we're in this tournament. I don't know. It would be
Well,
beautiful to see Messi lift
well,
that.
people here in the chat that have been here long enough know I hate the Open Cup. So
Right. It's like the idea is great, the history is awesome, but it's just not what it's not the FA Cup.
No,
They're trying
I-
to be. It's not.
I'd rather play against Liga MX teams, honestly.
For real, yes,
Yeah,
like
I do,
Leagues
I
Cup.
do.
So I think
Yeah.
just to finish it up, I think it would be insane to get the playoffs. But if we could see a turnaround of the team, which we kind of already did, but a long-term end of the season, Inter looks like a completely different team. I think that's what Messi wants. He just wants, he might understand like this is going to be very hard to get any silverware or anything.
For sure.
But flipping a team that is dead last to pretty decent and looking pretty hype for the next season, that's the goal. That's my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I agree. All right, Chris, and I leave it off to you.
All right, so 2 questions. We'll try to
Yeah.
make it rapid fire here.
Sure.
If you had to sort of pick what you think of a vacation as a cruise between 1 and 5, 5 being great vacation, 1 being terrible, where would you rank vacationing on a cruise?
I've been on a cruise, okay? And if I could rate, I would rank it right down the middle. Because, like, the thing is, you could chill. You could chill. You don't got to do anything. Actually, you could have things planned for you. You could be sitting back and be like, look, you guys have the whole excursion set up months before. I already know what I'm going to do and relax. But on the other end, like, are you really vacationing? Like, yeah, I'll hit up Boca Raton or Boca Raton. I'll hit up like some port in Boca Raton. I don't know why that just came in my head, but I'll hit up some port in like Cozumel or Jamaica for like a couple hours. It's like 50-50 for me. I think it's a solid 3.
There you go, Steve.
Okay.
You suck on that.
Yeah, suck on that, Steve. And then Lucas, you want the question? Here we go. So I'm going to put this picture up here, and you're going to make a couple tough choices. You need to pick between one of those pieces of 5 steaks and one of those 6 pieces of bread/toast. Which one would you go with?
Jesus. Okay, as an Argentinian, this could like get me like I could lose my citizenship over this. Okay, my personal preference really with the steak, and please don't be mad, is a 4, like somewhere in the 4 range.
Oh.
Hey. I'm not eating raw ass meat, okay? I'm not eating raw meat, okay?
But you're
That is
chewing gum
horrible.
at this point.
That
You're chewing
number-
gum.
That number there's some peeking 4. That number 3 is suspicious. That could be
Don't be-
giving me some problems. And for the toast, I'm a good I'm a 4. Little
Look.
butter. That's beautiful.
Look.
Easy.
This is how our people judge our guests. You gotta be choose wisely, Kev.
What do people say? 3? You go to prison if you want 3. That's disgusting, dude. You got
Hey, man.
parasites in your stomach if you want 3.
3. You should see the people that ask for 1.
No. Well, hell no.
Well, before
right.
we let you go, there was actually a guy that picked 6 on the toast. So at least you didn't pick that.
Oh hell no. Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah,
good.
so-
I like my teeth and my stomach, you know.
All right, Kevincho, go ahead and tell everybody, if they don't follow you already, you should, especially since he's streaming our Inter Miami game. So if you want some in-action live streaming, go follow the man. Where can they find you?
Thank you. I think everything as of right now is still Kevincho, so just Kevin CHO_TV. And if you don't see me there, then maybe _reacts, because I got to make like a new TikTok account like every couple months. You know, it just FIFA hates me. But other than that, like that's it. But it would be cool if you guys want. I need more Inter fans to hang out and chill with me while the games are
man.
live, so I can learn some more. But yeah,
And
thank you guys.
And if you have a hard time finding him, just find us on Twitter, and we'll tag him on there.
Bet.
So
yeah.
and thank you for taking the time to join us.
Yes, thank you for
coming
So we got 99 people on here. So you guys got to go ahead and subscribe to Kevincho's channel right now.
Let's go.
And if you're watching, like and subscribe to us also if you're haven't already. So again,
Yes.
thank you very much for joining us, and we'll let you go. And at 10 o'clock, you're gonna be live streaming the KC Chivas game, right?
That's right, baby. I'm already
So,
ready to go. Come on. I don't know what's gonna happen,
so
but we're chilling. But yeah, thank you guys for real. Let me
no.
know. I'll share this when I can. Everyone in the chat. Oh, good luck with your Orlando thing. God bless.
Yes.
I'll pray
Oh.
for you.
Well, let me tell you something. We feel pretty confident, but if this doesn't go our way, it's gonna be tough.
That's fine. Hey, delete it.
Because
Hey, no one's gotta know. Just make it private, baby.
Oh, we got somebody in the backstage right now watching. He's taking notes. You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, bet. All right, I can't wait to watch. Let's go.
All right.
All right,
All
guys.
right, man.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Thank you so
Ciao.
much, Kevincho.
No problem. See you.
Later.
All right. So, like, that was fun with Kevincho. And now, on Wednesday, we got the big game. And we usually try to have a podcast on from the opposing team to kind of help us preview the game. And that's what we're going to do right now. We have Alex from the Lions Den podcast joining us, and he's very gracious. So I appreciate that they took the time, because we've asked a few Orlando podcasts, and a lot of them don't want to join us. So we do appreciate Alex taking the time to join us. Thank you very much, Alex.
Hello.
What's going
Vamos
on?
Orlando.
Yeah.
I love soundboards.
We were waiting for it, though.
It's all good.
Right.
All in love.
It's all in fun, all in fun. So, Alex, your hashtag or your ad is Vamos Orlando, and I have you're a writer for Orlando.
Ryder is my last name. I was just giving you
Alex Ryder. Oh, okay. My apologies. I'm sorry
No,
about that.
all good. I used to write little stuff for the podcast, but we
Nice.
went just to potting. But we've been a podcast for 5+ years. We're actually coming up on our 200th episode as a fan cast, and we're excited about this. We missed the last opportunity with you guys early in this season, and
because you guys had a game that the day we recorded, so we appreciate you almost.
But we're just glad to be on here with you, and it's a big moment. It's a big moment for not just for this rivalry, but for U.S. soccer in general.
Oh, for sure. And I actually, before we get going, because I wanted to talk about the game, and Richard Greenberg kicks in here, check if Alex has any purple paint on his hands. We'll get into that.
No purple paint, guys. No purple paint,
I
Richard Greenberg.
Alex is innocent.
No paint.
I am curious, because. Well, okay. Well, actually, I'll start with this question instead before I ask you the next question. Do you guys consider Miami or Atlanta your biggest rival?
Or what's the general consensus in the fan base whether we or Atlanta are considered a bigger rivalry?
Because I've heard a lot of people in Orlando fans, at least on Twitter, say that they consider Atlanta their biggest rivals.
And that's true. And that's only based on the fact that Atlanta came into the league first. The hate and the grit that Orlando has gone through against Atlanta has been intense. It has led to a lot of different fights on and off the field, including another instance of defacement of paintings. Look that up if you don't.
Did you guys deface one of their things?
I know of an incident where that may or may not have happened, but
okay,
it cannot be linked to the current incident. We can talk about that later.
Oh, nice.
But the thing about that is when you put up a billboard less than a mile from our stadium, it's not going to go well.
Did they?
Atlanta United, the week before our first match against them in Orlando, put up a billboard very close to our stadium, and there may or may not have been some antics after that.
Okay, I can see that.
So, yeah. As far as the rivalry goes, I was thinking you guys were gracious to send me this particular question beforehand, and I actually put it out to quite a few fans. I'm very close with quite a few fans, and we talked about it. And while Atlanta is still the primary amongst a majority of the fans I talk to, it's feeling more like it's becoming more of a rivalry primarily because of Messi. And that made me think of some weird rivalries that come up in like the Premier League. I'm a huge Liverpool fan, and if you look at the famous rivalries in the Premier League,
Manchester United.
Manchester United, exactly. And that's
Mhm.
Manchester United is our Liverpool, or it is our Atlanta United.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
Everton is our Miami. But this is a moment where we're going through where Everton went from being Everton to signing Messi.
That
Right.
makes sense. That makes sense.
I can see why that is, because you guys have much more history with Atlanta, obviously, because you guys have been around longer than Miami. So just based off the history, for sure. But I would assume, like you said, with the whole Messi thing, now we're taking a lot more attention, or getting a lot more attention. These games, I'm sure you guys are gonna get a little more amped up for them, probably more than you did before, because I think we
Oh,
might have got
absolutely.
we got a little more amped up for them before, because we obviously knew we want to take over the state, right? We're the team. Florida's pink and all that other stuff. So for us, it was the main rivalry. And I think for you, eventually, if not so by the end of Wednesday, I think you guys are going to be focused in on us more than Atlanta.
Either way, it's going to be that after Wednesday because we already took it to Atlanta this year, and we still have at least two matches against you guys this year, so
Yep.
we can take it
Well,
to you at least one of those.
Well, and I think honestly, the way that the MLS is sort of panning out, though, Alex and Danny, is that the corners of the country are legitimately trying to build this big rivalry sort of culture, where you have the Galaxy versus LAFC. They're trying to build this Inter Miami versus Orlando. They're trying to build at some point. I think that either the Red Bulls or NYCFC are going to acquire a good big player, and that's going to sort of bolster those two. And then you have what, Seattle and Portland. They always have like a very strong rivalry as
Hmm.
well. Danny?
Yeah. Geographically, is usually how rivalries are born. And then through playoff series, or in this case, playoff games, that's when those new rivalries are made. But generally,
Yeah.
geographically, usually how they begin. Uh, as far as Messi arriving, you have a podcast. So I'm assuming that you have a pulse of the people, more or less, right? Because you talk to people, you have people write to you and whatnot. I understand why they wouldn't be excited, right? Because Miami got Messi. But in the grander scheme of things, are Orlando fans not seeing the benefits of having Messi in the league?
Oh, we see the benefits. It's some of us more than others, especially season ticket holders that like to sell their seats, but it it's more the question of how above board is everything, and everything's been looking very good, and it's very clear that this is going to evolve the league. This is the David Beckham moment of our generation.
100%.
That's going to drive the league forward and going to draw in the next generation's Lionel Messi. I mean, Holland is going to end up here at some point. That's kind of inevitable. Pulisic, a lot of the big stars are going to end up here because of Messi coming to a market that was, and not to be insulting, but you guys are down. You guys are down bad
Mm-hmm.
in the league, and yet everybody is rooting for you at this point. Like, I don't tell my Orlando friends, a lot of them are listening, but I'm hoping you guys make the playoffs just so we can face off again in the playoffs.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And that's when that real rivalry will begin for sure. Look, on Saturday, I was coincidentally in Orlando also, because for a fan, that's beside the point. But I was watching the game. I wanted you guys to win. I wanted this game on Wednesday. So I don't usually root for Orlando, but I promise you, on Saturday, when you guys hit that late game, it was like 91st, 92nd minute, I was happy. I was happy because I want this. I want to play you guys as much as possible because it's fun. Those are my favorite games. Is when we play against rivals. Those are the funnest games.
And Lucas is asking a question which we're going to get to in a little bit, Lucas, about who we should be, I guess, a little shook about. But Mike V mentions that it should be El Brightlino or El Evergladezo. Listen, this is the Periclásico, baby. Okay,
I like the Sampasico. That's my
the
favorite. I don't know.
Sampasico is also pretty good, more friendlier in that sense.
I've never heard a good candidate for the name of this rivalry, and I welcome any and all names because Florida Derby just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Oh, that's terrible. Florida Derby, like,
and the Sunshine State Classico. I'm not feeling that one either. I'm telling you,
I like the Sampasico.
And I'm not saying that it's great, but of all the ones I've heard, to me that's my favorite. So let's get into the purple hands thing, all right? Because I did want to touch on the mural. So everybody's talking about the mural, and I know that most Orlando fans are saying that it wasn't an Orlando fan. So we speak to an Orlando fan not on here.
I like this.
Could you give us some insight? The Swampico.
Swampico.
Yeah. So what could you tell us about the mural madness?
I will open with my official statement prepared by my wife.
You're doing a good job already. So
I don't like defacement of art, especially street art, because street art is awesome. And I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. It is not tactful. I don't like it. That being said, I'm a Ruckus member, and no one.
Ruckus being the supporters group, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No one I have talked to, no one I have spoken with in the last week has A, claimed any responsibility, or B, even promoted it. So I don't think that in Orlando City, that being said, that ends my official statement.
Right.
That being said, I don't think a fan would drive from Orlando.
Well, I've heard that, but
just to drive, just to
there
dump
could be Orlando
there.
fans that live down here, though. Like
there are Orlando fans that live down there. There aren't as many because quite a few of them converted to Inter Miami.
For sure.
I know this because I literally bought merchandise off of them in the last couple of years. I've gotten some good signed stuff. Off of Miami fans that are former Orlando fans.
Right, but that's why when I've seen that on Twitter, because I've seen people say, "Oh, we're not going to drive down 3 hours to throw some paint." Well, I mean, who said that you drove 3 hours? One, you could have been here already. It's the weekend.
Yeah,
people go to Miami for the weekend. Or two, you could just live down here. So if you say it wasn't, or you haven't heard of anybody taking, responsibility, that's one thing. But they didn't drive down for that. I'm sure they didn't drive down just for that. There's a lot of we got Tootsie's. We got Ocean Drive. We got Wynwood. There's plenty of things to do here outside of just throwing paint.
Yeah, absolutely. But the reality is...
Ooh, that's a good one, Richard Greenberg.
I don't think it was.
Miami FC, they can't be that bitter, can they?
No. Yeah, they hate us.
I mean, they of course they can. They have like 5 fans.
Jealousy ain't cute.
Then why are they throwing purple paint on our mural?
I mean, false flag attack, but there was also I've been on here. I've been in the back room since close to the beginning, and there was talk of, is it Atlanta fans? And I don't know if Atlanta fans are that shallow. Like, there's shallowness, and I can't see them being that shallow, but is it Atlanta? Is it the league? I don't know. I have no clue who actually did this, but who leaves a receipt? Who leaves the paint cans? Who splashes it that badly? And more importantly, how great are you guys for getting the mural repaired within 24 hours? Like,
Yeah, that was
I-
phenomenal.
I was saying this to my wife, and she was telling me, "Oh, don't talk about it," but I'm going to talk about it anyway because she's not listening to this.
Oh my goodness.
And here's the thing: you guys do murals great. I've seen a lot of great murals. You guys celebrate your club. You've been in the league a few years. It's been a tough couple of years, but you celebrate it nonetheless. And embracing Messi is a great plus.
For sure.
And you know what? It could have been done by Fridge Guy. You never know, Danny. Fridge Guy could have done it.
Alex doesn't know who Fridge Guy is. It's a part of the show. Don't worry about it, Alex.
Is it like a bipolar Orlando
No,
/
no,
Miami?
Go back-
fan?
go
Or-
back to our-
it has nothing to do with Orlando. It's the Messi celebration that when they did the presentation, there's a video of the crazy winds
guy
right
that
before it
gets-
happened. He got taken out by a fridge, and it just became a thing.
during like Messi's presentation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple hours before. So
Just make
it
sure
made the rounds.
just make sure, guys, if you're still, looking, if you find Fridge Guy, let us know. We need to
We're
talk
still-
to him.
So, can I ask a counter question to that?
Of course, go for it.
How likely is it that someone at Orlando City is going to have to do some painting in the next 3 to 6 months?
I don't think that. Look, maybe somebody that lives in Orlando would go ahead and do something like that. I can't imagine anybody that we know down here in the supporter groups that would go ahead and drive to Orlando to do something like that. No, I don't see it.
It's
Am I
not
saying it's
worth it.
impossible? No, it's not. It's not. I can't imagine that they would do that. We just go to your stadium. We're loud as hell, but I can't imagine that.
You guys do represent.
Yeah,
You like
so, but
stomping on the ground right around our locker room
I know. I've heard. I've
and
heard.
harassing our mascot. Do you guys have a mascot yet?
No, I didn't know you
No,
guys had a
we do
mascot.
not.
You guys have a mascot?
Kingston.
Yeah, they have a lion.
Really?
Kingston the Lion.
Like I know in their logo they have a lion, but I didn't know that they had like an actual mascot.
Yeah, he was out in the last game on Saturday. Yeah,
I
he
had
was
no
out
idea.
there.
If you'll give me a moment, I'll show you him.
Sure. Is it like Simba inspired?
Hold on, he's gonna grab the mask right now.
Oh no, crack kills.
So, yeah, so here we go. Oh, there we go. And there he goes. So we have so look, he's showing us the line, which I saw in the last game. There we go.
So it's just like a full lion.
So it's a full
costume?
lion suit. He had it.
Full lion suit. He has dreadlocks.
Yes.
The whole thing.
Oh, and they call him Kingston.
Yep.
No, it's
Yeah,
dreadlocks.
for
I get
sure.
it. Okay, got it. No,
That makes
no,
sense.
no,
That's what I figured.
No, we don't have a mascot. I can't imagine us having a mascot. Maybe they'll do it, but I can't
You
imagine.
can find a bird, I'm sure.
I don't know. I don't see a.
It
bird
would be
going
weird
with
to
the-
have like
with
a
the vibe of-
flamingo.
Yeah, just chill. It's a heron, first of all.
I know
And,
it's a heron.
well,
It's
Maybe
actually
when
a
we move
heron.
to Freedom Park or
heron
something.
was one.
It's a heron.
Maybe, but I just don't see it. All right, so let's get into the actual nitty gritty, the game. Now, your, I guess, biggest signing this past offseason was Facundo Torres, right?
Facundo came in last year, so he's
Oh,
on
did
his
he?
second year.
Oh shit! I thought it was this year. So, how is Facundo performing so far this year?
Facundo is doing almost exactly the same thing he did last year. He started slow, and then he's picked up the pace, and he's scoring goals, delivering assists. He's been looking just as good, if not, he's picked it up sooner than he did last year.
Okay. So, talking about strictly just the game, we like to kind of ask. The reason we have opposing podcasts on is because you guys know your team in and out.
Yeah.
If I were to ask you, what's the biggest strength on Orlando's team? What would you say is your biggest strength?
Right now, our biggest strength is our defensive midfielders and our midfield in general. We've been
Ooh, surprising.
we switched up to the double pivot, which our fellow podcaster Eddie the Commish basically suggested, and they adopted it. I don't know if it was him, but ever since we've been completely utilizing Wilder Cartagena, and it's been great. We've been looking a lot better. We've been pushing from the back, and even though we've been having some slowness from our number 10, he's been a lot better. So we've had a big switch also at the number 9, because Cara was our big starter at the number 9, and Duncan McGuire has come in and has overwhelmed the league, and he's looking really good. He's got the leading scoring for us, and he's on pace to be the rookie of the year or newcomer of the year, whatever MLS calls it now. So that's our big strength right now.
And what about the biggest weakness on the team?
It was interesting. You guys were talking about biggest weakness, and I was going back and forth, because biggest weakness is both our defense and our offense at the same time. Our defense, especially in Pedro Gallese, which Pedro has faced Messi more than any other MLS goalkeeper out of Peru, because of World Cup qualifying and Copa America. But
well, yeah, I think he's 0-3 as far as penalty goes. Right,
yeah.
Messi against Gallese.
Yeah, so, and we'll get to that when we talk about the scenarios for the actual match, but I think that the only weakness we have is in our right back, and even then, he's a strong right back. Kyle Smith is one of the oldest tenured players on our team, and yet he's still been versatile. We just potted last night, and I was pretty hard on him and saying that that he needed to be replaced, and I kind of regret that comment. I think that he might be okay, but I think that us finishing within the first 65 to 70 minutes is key. We have to get goals, and that's what needs to happen. And seeing what Miami has done in the last couple of weeks with all your new recruits, it's a whole different game.
Yeah, no, we're a lot better in the final third, which is where we were suffering. And our midfield in general, Busquets is coming.
When you get a lot of new friends, that helps a lot.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Well, as of right now, we've only have 2 so far playing with our young guys, because I think that's the thing. And it's not just Orlando fans. I see MLS fans all over the place talking about how Miami has 6 DPs and all this other stuff. A couple things. We only have 3 DPs. Gregory was a DP, but we bought him down. Pizarro was a DP, but they terminated his contract. And Jordi Alba signing on a TAM deal. So our only DPs are Campana, Messi, and Busquets. And then we got the U22 initiative guys coming in from Argentina, which I understand. Those are like mini DPs technically, but they're U22 initiative players, which every team in the MLS has a right to. So, I mean, as far as the rules go,
the legality of it, it's all legal.
They're working within the rules. Now, Jordi Alba taking a pay cut, that's on him. I understand why that's weird, but that's what he chose to do. I mean, who are we?
Do you think that's long term though, or do you think he's going to get a pay raise?
You know what I think? Yes, I think that the rules will eventually change to accommodate his contract and to bring Luis Suarez as a 4th DP, let's say. So I think that's what's going to happen.
So can I ask a question about?
Go for it. And you know Luis Suarez pretty well. You're a Liverpool fan.
Oh, I seeing Luis Suarez in MLS is going to be awesome. I was kind of hoping he'd come to Orlando, but he went home for a bit, and good for him. Do what you got to do. But he was talking about retiring, and now he's trying to get out of his contract.
Well, go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
No, I was just going to say that the news was that him and Gremio agreed on a termination of contract at the end of this season. So Everybody's just assuming that he's going to sign with Inter Miami come January.
So the rules would come into effect and benefit you guys. That's
100%. I think that MLS across the board is going to change the rules, and obviously it's going to help us because there's names that want to come play with Messi. But everybody's going to have an opportunity to sign more players, I believe.
yeah, but how do you feel about the fact that those rules are kind of being soft tossed to a lot of players that are coming in that want to play with Messi?
Well, I think I would understand people being upset if it was happening right now, this transfer window, because then they're like, oh yeah, they're just giving everything to Messi. But if they're waiting till after the season's over so that everybody has an opportunity to work under those rules, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
What about Busquets? Do you think he's going to get a better contract?
He already has a DP contract, so he's already
he's
they could already pay him whatever they want or whatever he wants. I don't know how that's going to work.
So
honestly, I don't. So he's a DP already.
Which DP did you guys lose for him? I know you had 3 already.
We bought down Gregory with GAM money, right? The general allocation money. So we bought his contract down because he was getting paid, I want to say like maybe 100,000 more than the max salary. So they paid those 100,000 down. So he was no longer considered
Is
a DP
that the
player.
GAM money that you got from Montreal?
Oh, we got money from
Montreal. From what's this guy out in
Louis
Red
Morgan,
Bulls?
Julian Carranza. They've been preparing for this summer window for the last 2 seasons. That's why I understand not a lot of people watch Inter Miami because it's not their team. But if you would have watched this, there's a reason why we're 15th in the East. We were playing with a bare bones roster. Like we had 6 homegrown players playing for us.
So you were tanking for a long-term plan that betted on Messi turning down $1 billion deal in Saudi Arabia.
Well, I don't think it was.
I don't think it was outright. I don't think it was outright tanking. I think that Chris Henderson just saw this future where he can be able to sort of sell these guys who have promise off for this GAM money. And then we have these promising young guys that were in our, U22s or whatever that, they can be serviceable until we decide to bring the big guns in. No, Danny?
And not just that. It's the fact that, yes, they didn't re-sign Pozuelo, and yes, they did give us they didn't give a lot of depth. What killed Miami this year was that they ended up having so many injuries. Because when you have little depth because you're trying to wait for the summer transfer, and then you end up losing your best player in the midfield, and then your second best player in the midfield, and then one of your forwards. Like we had a lot of injuries, which killed the little promise we had while we're waiting for the summer transfer window.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say tanking, but definitely didn't have enough depth for the injuries that ended up kind of just costing us the East this first half of the year.
And that's one thing that Orlando has had throughout this season. We've had bouts of losing, but we've had a lot of unbeaten streaks, and depth is one thing we need. And with a short rest, we're coming off of less than 4 days of rest going down to Miami. I mean, don't get me wrong, traveling to Miami is one of the shortest trips in all of MLS, but it's still traveling to a different stadium. It's a hostile environment, and we're going to have to put up a lot, but don't think we're going to see a whole lot of changes to our lineup from our match on Saturday.
Well, you mean for the match on Wednesday?
Yes. Yeah. Between Saturday and Wednesday. Yes.
Okay. Well, speaking of traveling, I don't know if you wanted to touch anything else on what we were just discussing, Danny.
No, go for it.
But speaking of traveling, perfect segue. Are the supporters going to be traveling pretty thick on Wednesday, or what's the buzz going on?
They're trying. Like I said, I'm a Ruckus supporter. I'm in the chats. I'm in the Facebook groups, all that. I'm not going to give away any privileged information, but we're trying. Everyone's got forms up. There's literally hasn't been communication as of right now from the Miami front office until Tuesday morning.
Well,
so
by the way,
I know here's the thing: there are a lot of people signed up and ready to go. So much so that we are no longer chartering a bus. People are like just going down, and those parking lots are going to be overwhelmed. Which, I truth be told, I don't live in Orlando. I live in Naples, Florida.
Nice.
I'm the closest Orlando. Yeah, exactly. And I thought about, there was a part of me that's like, oh, I need to go to this match. It's going to be that match. And then I hear 150 for a supporter. You got a park in Timbuktu because, no offense, but the parking is not great at your stadium. And I
Oh
know
no,
that's been
look,
Big
discussed.
time.
believe me, we agree.
That's
It's
kept
horrible.
me away. I live so close, and yet I've never been to a match. But when you guys open Freedom Park, I can't wait because I'll be there. It'll be awesome. There will be a lot better parking. If the Marlins have taught you guys anything, it's that parking is awesome.
Yeah.
No, for sure. So we don't really know what the supporter turnout's going to be yet, but you think that it's going to be a lot of people heading down there
There
individually.
will be a lot more people than you think on short notice.
Well,
Okay.
and
People
the
are going to
worst,
pack that. People will pack our supporter section. I have no doubt about that. ILF, Ruckus, they can turn out in a lot of numbers with short amount of time.
well, and just to talk a little bit about the tickets and the ticket pricing, I did see on Ticketmaster that apparently they do have like a specific special code for the supporter groups for the opposing teams. So that's something, I guess. But $150 for a supporter is ridiculous.
Yep.
And that's regardless of whether it's Orlando or anybody else. I mean, the ticket prices just across the board in League's Cup have been ridiculous. And then to top it off, Inter Miami ticket prices have been
Messy
just a
tax.
complete. Yeah,
The
it's
messy
just been a
tax.
disaster. Like, I mean, Alex, I just want to give you the difference in the parking prices. We would pay $17 to park on that plot of dirt that they were thinking about throwing a jungle gym on for the Broward County.
How
And
far of a
now-
walk is it?
No,
Oh,
it's
it's right
not
next to the
that far.
stadium.
The
It's
yellow
next to the
lot
stadium.
is, yeah, the yellow lot is right next to the stadium. But we used to pay $17, $20 for that parking spot. Now you're paying minimum like $45, $50 just
Messy
to park
tax.
on that plot of dirt. Yeah,
And I'm
it's
sure you're
ridiculous.
getting door dings because you're parking as close as humanly possible to get a couple of more people into that lot.
The last two games, the Parkers have literally squeezed every inch of that parking to the T, where you literally have to back and forth 74 times before leaving your parking space. And that's if you don't want to hit another vehicle.
All right. So Wednesday, everybody's excited. You guys, we are excited. All that other good stuff. And this series, right between the two teams, has been pretty tight. Outside of the last two games, every game has been either a draw or decided by one goal. Okay. And then last year in October, we beat you guys 4-1. And then earlier this season, you guys beat us 3-1. But outside of those two games, has been a 1-goal differential or a draw every single game. So obviously, tight contest. But we have this game on Wednesday, and we have a new team. My question to you, and this is a very serious question. Are you guys planning excuses already because you are going to say that Messi is getting calls and that Busquets getting calls and that Inter Miami and MLS wants to see Miami move on? Because I have a feeling that you guys are already setting this in. Like, you guys are like, we either win or things were bought off. I feel like that is what's happening. And I haven't heard it yet, but I almost, like, something inside of me says 100% this is what they're thinking already.
So that's tough because I do think that it's going to be a lot tighter than it needs to be. But I've been one of those people that says on our podcast, because Orlando's had a long history with referees, Messi notwithstanding, but don't leave any doubt. That's been something I've repeated on our podcast a lot. If you're going to win well.
Yeah.
I won't hint at my prediction yet, but I think match is going to be close, refs with or with notwithstanding. I think there might be a gift one way or the other, but I think it's going to be closer than people think. I think that Atlanta got clowned, which makes me happy and makes a lot of Orlando City fans weirded out because it's like, who do we root for? Atlanta, Miami, who cares? I wanted this matchup more than anything. This matchup is awesome. This matchup is great for the league. It's great for all of us. Look, we're all talking. So I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens on the field, but I'm not going to make any excuses because we can't leave any doubt no matter what. I don't care if the Messi factor comes into effect. I looked up the pro referees that were supposed to be in this match and they haven't been confirmed yet, but there has been a lot of questionable calls. I'm not even going to call out the Miami ones because those weren't even the most egregious. They're using a lot of younger referees in this. I don't think they're necessarily going to do that with this match. So you can't use that as an excuse. I'll say that as an Orlando fan. You can't use it as an excuse. You got to. If I'm Orlando, I want to win. I want to win fair.
And win outright.
Exactly.
Yeah, win outright.
After you said the whole referee thing, I started looking some stuff up. And I think most teams, right, complain about the refs. But from what I'm seeing here this season, and it's kind of crazy when I saw you guys haven't had a red card called on you all year, but the teams.
Yeah, there was a stretch of 2 or 3 games where we did have a red card against us. This is not based in this season. This season is an enigma.
Okay, because
this season is an enigma.
You have no red cards this season, and your opposing teams have 5 red cards. You guys have benefited from playing against 10 men 5 times this year.
That's absolutely correct. This season is an enigma that has never happened before. I remember when all of those happened, but in Leagues Cup specifically, they're using different refs, and I'm not going to use.
I've heard
but that's not an excuse. We have to play well, and we could say, "Oh, we're on short rest." Screw it. If you're on short rest and you have refs that don't want you to win, go out there and win and do it. That proves it. I don't care.
I agree.
Well, and let's talk about this miércoles coming up, right? So let's get some predictions for Doomsday Wednesday out of the way, Danny. Right? Do you want to start it off, or should we allow our guests to start it off? What are we going to do here, Danny?
We usually let our guests go first.
That's very polite of you guys. Thank you very much. I predicted this on the pod last night. It's going to be 2-2 after 90. We don't have extra time in this competition because
straight to PKs.
We don't hate the players' legs, which I understand, but 2-2. Messi gets at least a goal, if not 2. For Orlando, Facundo and Duncan Maguire each get a goal. And in the end, Orlando wins on penalties because, truth be told, this club has never lost in our history on PKs, including against you guys in the Open Cup last year.
Yeah, I know. That was horrible.
Oh, but let's not talk about that. Bryce Duke had literally the worst PK.
That's okay because you guys are going to end up winning the Open Cup this year because you guys were talking about that earlier. And it's funny. When the Open Cup happened in 2019, Atlanta won. That was a big brother for us. We were mad. We wanted to beat them. We lost to them in the semifinal. I was there at the semifinal. That was the last match I went to before kind of things went all to crap.
Yeah.
2022, in the first return of the tournament, we win. I was there also. I do think you guys have a great chance against Cincinnati, and I think that it's kind of nice of Messi to grace the U.S. Open Cup with his presence. So,
I think that's fantastic.
I hope he has a chili dog though, because Cincinnati has really good chili dogs.
Never been to Cincy.
Skyline,
Chris,
baby.
Chris, prediction.
All right. So my prediction, Danny, is I think we're gonna win 3-1. I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be that close. I think that it's probably gonna be 3-0, and it's gonna be like a late goal in the 84th minute when all of the stars get off the field because our defense is just not great. And then McVay, oh, that's right, McVay can't even get on because he just got a red card.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's going to be 3-1. I think Robbie Taylor is going to get a goal this game. I think Messi's going to get a goal, and I think Joseph might get a goal. So
Well, Joseph, I know he's fallen off, right? So I don't think he strikes fear in any Orlando fan's heart anymore. But
there's some trauma there, but
yeah, because I think
finish
it would
your
be
thought and then
sweet.
I'll finish.
Because I think that would be sweet if he finally has a comeback, right? Like just his first goal with Messi, like a Messi assist to Joseph. I think it would be really sweet if it happens against Orlando.
yeah.
Now, with that being said, I know everybody's really hyped about the way we've looked. And Jordi Alba might play the last 10, 15 minutes. I really do believe that he's going to get on the field late in the game. But I do think that this is the first real competition we play. And not saying that Cruz Azul is a horrible team, but they had a really rough start to the regular season. And I don't think they were that great. Atlanta either. And with that being said, Atlanta scored on us in the first 2 minutes. It was just offside. But our defense is shaky. Cruz Azul had quite a few opportunities to score on us. So our defense hasn't necessarily looked great. Okay. Busquets has coughed up the ball a couple times. Once against Cruz Azul, twice against Atlanta, which almost cost us. Luckily, all 3 times, it didn't cost us a goal. So I'm not saying that I feel necessarily great about our defense. That being said, I do think that a good offense kind of helps the defense, right? We keep possession. Busquets is a magician with the ball. I do think that this is going to go down like a lot of the other games. 1 goal difference. And I do think we pull this one out 2-1. I can't imagine keeping a clean sheet. Just because our defense just hasn't looked that great, honestly. But I do think that we win this one 2-1.
And you were going to mention something, Alex. I think you were going to talk a little bit about Joseph.
Yeah, not just him, but Martino as well. He
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he plagued us when he was at Atlanta. We never beat him. We never beat him and Josep Martinez. But I think that those times have come and gone. It's going to be one of those redemption things for us. And it's not going to be easy. We're not going to have an easy time of it. We haven't had an easy time of it in this tournament. We went to penalties on the first one, and we had to score in stoppage time on the second one to win. It was not easy, but we did it. And I think that this team can play a lot.
It's a good question by Bruno. Who would we start, Danny?
Chris, that's the starting 11 from the last game. Who would you start?
I'd actually keep it the same. The only difference I would make.
Well, I don't know if Miller can play.
Well, Miller, no. What do you mean if Miller can't play? He has a red. He doesn't have a red card. That was.
Didn't he get injured last game?
Did he get injured? No, I don't think that he got injured.
Wait, am I misspeaking?
I think he did get injured.
I might be misspeaking.
Well,
so you would keep it the same.
I would keep it the same, and I would bring on Jordi Alba if he's actually like allowed to be on the roster. I'd bring him on later instead of earlier, so that way we can have a better defender later in the game. But again, he's just getting onto the team. And what's this guy, Diego Gomez? Maybe I'll put him in.
All right, but starting wise, you're keeping the same 11 from last game.
Yeah, I would keep the same 11.
And I gotta find out about Miller. If anybody in the chat can I don't know why I'm blanking on this. So Miller trained today and
he's
went
healthy.
Off. So
okay,
look,
nice. You met him on Friday, Lucas. Good stuff.
So I don't know why I feel like I'm off on the center backs right now, but I agree. I would keep the same starting 11. I do think Jordi Alba is going to get in. I think Noah Allen's going to get a lot of run, and Jordi Alba will come in the 80th, 75th, 80th minute. He is in shape, maybe not tip-top shape, but he is in shape, so I think he'll be ready to play.
So we got some questions coming your way now, Alex. All right? Unless you got anything else that you want to mention here, Danny.
No.
So we got some So we got some questions coming your way, Alex. These are real. These are
Bring it
real
on.
strong questions here. Okay, on a level between 1 to 5, 5 being the best experience ever on vacation, where would you rank cruising?
Oh man, that's hard. That's actually not that hard because I'm a bit avid cruiser. My family likes to brag that we've been on a lot, like 40 cruises. At least my parents have. I've been on like 20 of those. My bachelor party was on a cruise. That's a whole different story. So I'd say 4. I'd say 4.
There
I
we go.
did my most favorite cruise was the most recent one I went on in Greece.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Greece
Well,
and the Eastern Mediterranean. So
I-
I'd say
I
4
don't-
because you don't have to pack up your. Can I swear on this podcast?
Go ahead.
Sure.
I don't have to pack up my shit and move it from hotel to hotel every couple of days. I can just leave it on the boat and or ship, whatever you want to call it,
Shit,
and
nice.
move around and go to new places. Stamp a lot of new stuff on my passport. I've got 2 cruises in my docket for the next 18 months.
Look at
Mike wants
that,
to know if you
Steve.
said hi to Pizarro while you were in Greece.
I'll certainly see if I can find him, but Greece is crazy. Athens, I literally watched a taxi driver hit another car's mirror and just not even blink on the way to the airport.
Just bucket. That's how.
Nice.
Casual.
Well,
Euros
that-
are euro. It will ruin euros for you. Like,
Yeah.
not even close.
So
I
just
would
real
im- I-
quick, to clarify, no. So a lot of people talking about Diego Gomez in the chat. I don't know why I thought that he was the only U22 guy that was active for this tournament, but I'm looking it up now, and he isn't on the roster. So Diego Gomez, I guess, is not an option until August 20th when they play against Charlotte in the MLS returns. So all our
Is
3
it a
U22
cup type
guys.
thing?
Yeah, because we had to have a League Cups roster, and he's not on here. Jordi Alba is, but Diego Gomez wasn't. And I thought that he was the only U22 newcomer that did make the roster, but from what I'm seeing, he did not. So no Diego Gomez is looking like.
So now we go to the real question, as Lucas points it out. Official tissue, baby. So, as we asked our last guest, which you saw as you were backstage, we got these 5 pieces of meat and these 6 pieces of bread. So, where are you going with this?
That's easy for me. I'm a 4 on both. I grill filet mignon rather regularly because that's what we do once every other week. But I don't do toast as much. Toast is harder for me because I haven't found a good toaster, whereas my grill I know better than most things. So still when it comes out, I want 4 on both. I want a little sour cream and seasoning mixed together as a sauce for my steak. And
Sour cream?
Wow.
sour cream, just take sour cream and Italian seasoning. You put a little bit in, you mix it up together. You don't lather it on. You just put it in a bowl. You put a little bit on top, but then if you're feeling for some flavor in addition, I put the Italian seasoning on the steak when I grill it. Gets that nice
My
char
goodness.
on it.
You ever
Grill
tried
it if-
chimichurri?
I don't know what chimichurri is, but I'm willing to try it.
Oh man,
Well-
we got to get you down here, bro.
Well, chat, you can't say that Orlando fans don't do anything for you guys because he just put us onto some sauce that sounds pretty spectacular.
Italian seasoning.
Wow.
I'll send you guys the exact brand. You can buy it at Publix or see if Messi wants to buy it for you at Publix as well. Do you guys think that was an ad placement? Just
No, I've had a few people tell me that they thought that that's what it was, and I could see why they would think
Smart
that. And
marketing.
maybe, yes, for sure. And Publix is one of the sponsors for Inter Miami, so I get it. But I do believe, and this is just me, right? Maybe I'm just naive. I do think that coming to America, he kind of just wanted to go out. Like it's like we just got here. People don't know my regular routine yet. Let's see if we can make a quick little market run, just so I can have like a normal 30 minutes. Obviously, he knew it wasn't going to be 100% normal.
shows how
but-
famous
but
he actually
relatively.
is.
Yeah, and then everybody found out and they started showing up and he had to go to his car. But And then to the sour cream thing, I just can't get with that, Chris. I don't know that. I've
I mean,
never
it,
heard
it
that
sounds
before.
Sour cream-
interesting.
Try it.
Mm.
It's not for everybody, but I found that it was very good, and I make it every other week now.
Listen,
We're gonna have to invite you to some chimichurri, man.
yes, the
I'm not gonna say
chimichurri
no.
you have to try. Now, I didn't have as much of a problem with the sour cream as much as I did to the number 4 on the steak. Because if you're telling me that you
No,
make a
Hazel.
filet mignon, I don't know if I'm okay with making a filet mignon as a 4.
It's it's
I mean,
on a
this
hair
could be
trigger
preference.
between 3 and 4, but
Yes.
I make it more for my wife than for myself, and honestly, I don't care about steak as long as it's not completely chewy. So
Yes, as long as it's not 2 or 1, I guess. Well, we got to get you on chimichurri, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Chimichurri.
Just real quick, just to answer Hazel's question. No, Messi's not going back to Barcelona. If he has a farewell party, it's going to be a New Boys over there in Argentina. He's not going back to Spain. If anything, he's going to Argentina to retire there. But I do think that he's going to end up retiring down here.
I would love to see a match between Miami and Barcelona, Pele style, where he plays one half for Miami and one half for Barcelona in Miami.
You know what? That sounds interesting. They played against Barcelona last summer here.
Yeah.
He trained at your stadium. That was
with
Yeah,
Argentina.
with
Precursor.
With Argentina.
yeah.
But
that wasn't with Barcelona. Oh,
No,
he was
no.
already with.
he was a PSG. The thing is, I feel like the relationship soured so much. I don't know if he would do that. So maybe, but I don't think
For
so.
the fans, maybe.
Maybe. All right. Well, Alex, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us because a lot of Orlando fans didn't want to. I mean, I don't think we were too hard on you, right?
No, you guys were gracious. You guys are a lot of fun to talk to. I hope I get to come on again before the match in
September 24th. Oh, speaking of which, how are the prices for that game? Because we want to go.
The prices are astronomical. If you haven't bought a ticket already, just see if you can. See if you can
sell a limb.
No, see if you can sell a limb. See if you can get an away ticket. I'm sure they haven't sold the away section yet, even though But a funny story from our podcast family. Alex Brown, one of my fellow podcasters, is actually living in Key West right now. He's a season ticket holder. He has been since the beginning, and he sold a majority of his tickets this season. Sorry, Hazel, I can't hook you up. I'm not a season ticket holder, but Alex Brown sold his tickets for the September match a month before the Miami announcement for $50. The person he resold them to, these are 2 tickets right by the walkout tunnel.
Oh, no.
The person that resold them for like $500+, and Alex went nuts on, and he's gonna be so mad I'm talking about this. I don't care. Went nuts and tweeted about it, and then right after
probably could have gotten more than 500 for that.
At least
the reseller.
Yeah.
There have been much smarter fans that I know of who have paid for their season tickets just by selling their September tickets, which the original rumor was that Messi might not have been there, but it sounds like that the South America World Cup qualifiers are not going to intercede with that. So
no, because if he plays with Argentina, he's going to play on September 8th and September 12th. So it would be against Sporting KC and Atlanta, the games that would be affected, which he wasn't going to play in Atlanta anyway because of the turf. So that wasn't going to happen regardless.
So he found out about how much more it was going to be and tweeted about it. And then a local Orlando reporter found out about it and posted it on the news the night after the Messi unofficial announcement came back like a month or 2 ago, and posted, he went in front of the stadium and is talking. I'm looking at tweets from Alex Brown, who's sold his tickets for $50 and now they're getting resold.
Oh,
it's
man.
like
that is mortifying.
He's not happy, and he's a good guy, but was not a good moment for him, and I feel bad for him.
Well, Lucas
Well,
is much like us. We're shouting you out and appreciate you taking the time for joining us. Because, like we said, we invited a few people, and you guys were the only ones that were gracious enough to accept our invitation. So we appreciate that.
Anytime.
Well, where can the guys find you, Alex? Where can they find you in the gang?
They probably won't follow you, but just in case.
I mean,
I'm joking.
give
Man.
us some
you
love.
never know.
Give us
I'm
give us a
joking.
little love. I'm not as argumentative. I'm a loving guy compared to some of our fans, but
Yeah.
I'm at ghost_writer on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. If you're into that kind of thing, I'm on Twitter. Obviously, we are on Twitter, Threads, and Instagram at Orlando Lions Den. So come give us a hate love, a love. We don't mind bants, just don't make it personal. If you don't
No, for sure.
dox us
It's all in good fun.
don't
Broward-
don't get mean. Let's talk.
Yeah, it's all in good fun.
So Broward Heron is saying you're a great sport. Hope to have you back on in a month. I could see that happening for sure. And is Mike V is asking a critical question here. Is that Nani on the wall?
Oh, of course that's 90 on the wall. That's from our, if I can
You
do the pointing
There
right.
you goes.
That is from the MLS's back posters. I'm a huge poster guy. Do you guys have a lot of match day posters?
no.
No.
I love match day posters. We do match day posters.
So they like give them out to the fans?
No, they sell them $5 a pop every match, made by a local artist, and they all
that's
go
pretty
to
cool.
the Orlando City SC Foundation, and it's awesome. I've
Nice.
been buying so many over the years. I've been asking a lot of people to buy me some because I only make it to 2 or 3 matches a year, but I watch every match that I can possibly get my hands on. So
Nice.
Just last question, and we'll let you go because we went like 40 minutes over what we usually go. Just real quick. Favorite Orlando player, Nani or Kaká? Or somebody else?
oh, that's tough. I gotta say Kaká because of he's kind of what brought me into it. I grew up in Chicago. I actually grew up in a suburb of Chicago where the Chicago Fire played for 2 years while Soldier Field was being renovated. And I wasn't a big soccer fan, big Bears fan, like you said, underdog fan, but I moved to Florida in the summer of 2014 and became a huge soccer fan because of the World Cup. And I looked up immediately what's the closest major league soccer club. And
2015.
and Orlando had announced about 6 months earlier, and then right during the World Cup, they announced Kaká. So I would have to say Kaká, but there's a lot of honorable mentions, but I won't tie up.
No, all good. No, we appreciate you. And again, we appreciate you taking the time. If you were watching on YouTube and you participated in the chat, thank you as always. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you for watching all the way to the end. And if you were on audio, thank you for listening all the way to the end. As always, we appreciate the support, and people in the chat, thank you for participating. As always, you guys are the best part of the show. Chris, anything you would like as a final thought?
I mean, I don't know if you're a Cubbies fan, but I just want to say
Damn right.
thank you. I just want to say, and just to stick
Steve
it
Bartman?
in one last time, thank you, Steve Bartman.
We ended up winning our World Series, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
I've got
The
my
curse is gone.
newspaper right over
Brought
here.
him back. You brought him back. You brought him back.
There we go, baby.
Steve
Only
Bartman.
sporting
All right.
event I've ever left early is the day after opening day, like 4 or 5 years ago at Marlins Stadium. Went to 17 innings, and we had to leave early because my dad and I had to go to work the next day, and the Cubbies ended up losing. But that stadium's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, look, I think it's a little underrated, honestly. And on Wednesday, you might be leaving early if you make it down here because we might kick your ass. So.
I don't leave sporting events early, and
Me either.
it's against
me
my
either.
religion,
Well, I appreciate that because that's. I feel like most people should
It's
be
hard
that
to
way.
find.
But
especially
all
if
right,
Messi's on the field. Anytime.
because we're never gonna get this again, and who knows how long it's gonna last. It's supposed to be
But
2.5
summer
years
soccer, like, gotta appreciate it.
for sure. All right, again, thank you, Alex, for joining. Chris, as always, I hate you. Everybody in the chat, thank you. And if you are looking to purchase any Inter Miami or Messi gear, make sure you visit us on batterfans.com. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Peace.